They have choices. They have options. They're now safe. They can choose who to trust. And oftentimes, one of the things that gets stuck is they weren't responsible then, and they should not have been put in a position to be responsible then. So we can understand and let go of any judgment we had of self when we were young to recognize that, we really shouldn't have been put in some of the positions we were put in. And this isn't to badger or judge or dismiss parents. I believe most parents are really doing the very best they can with what they know. I believe in a generous assumption, but sometimes even when they were doing their best, it wasn't good enough. And so they put burdens or responsibilities on children that should not have been put on them. And so here's the key, and here's how we're going to solve for this. We're going to treat our parts with compassion, with patience, with curiosity, and with love. Our parts responded far better to compassion than criticism. If we are critical or shaming or dismissive, our parts kind of get noisy. They battle. They really try to take over more so. But when we see them and we hear them and we feel them, they kind of feel seen. So when we speak to our inner children with judgment and dismissal and harshness or like shaming, like they just need to get over it. In fact, I once had a client tell me that a therapist of theirs in the past said, we just need to put that teenager who's naughty on a cloud and push her away. And I was so triggered because I thought that's not how we do this. We can't just dismiss parts of us. They are how we became who we are, and they need to be loved and seen, even if those adaptations aren't useful today. Because when we shame, those parts retreat, they shut down, or they fight harder. Why? Because they interpret your tone as the same danger they learned to fear as children, right? So let me say that again. The reason they shut down or the reason they get noisier is because they now are basically experiencing the same thing that got them started in the first place. So that's not going to help, right? So parts heal through relationship, and we have to offer our inner selves what wasn't there at the time. We have to show up now for our little parts in ways that didn't happen. So if you know how to be loving or compassionate, then we just bring that. When our higher selves lead with compassion, our parts start to settle down. They start to believe, maybe she's got it. Maybe I don't have to be so noisy. So your inner world responds to the way that you speak to it. Our interaction with our inner world must be compassionate to be successful. If you treat your parts like they're annoying children, they'll act like it. If you treat them like frightened, overworked protectors, they will soften. If we can see them with understanding and compassion, they feel like they have camaraderie with our highest self. And in that camaraderie, they can start to settle down. So most of us don't talk about ourselves very kindly. Most of us shame ourselves when we don't like how we're showing up. But when we meet our parts with shame or dismissal or irritation, they feel like we did as kids, maybe unseen, misunderstood, rejected, abandoned, and more protective than ever. They're like, see, it's not okay to settle down because look what we have to deal with. So this is why that internal conflict increases when we try to push away anxiety, numbness, self-sabotage, anger, tears, or shutdown. We can't do that. Those reactions are parts doing their best. They are trying to show up for us the best that they know how. And so we have to meet them differently than we were met when we were little. So let me give you some examples. Let's say you have an anxious part and you're so tired of being exhausted and overwhelmed from the anxiety.